Let's go to the wide receivers here, guys. Ladd McConkey's got the Giants. Believe it or not, Matthew, 2 straight weeks with single-digit fantasy points for the Gladiator, but I don't think it's time to give up on this one yet. It's a great matchup.
I think it is a great matchup against the Giants, who have allowed the second most fantasy points to wide receivers this year, second most receptions, second most receiving yards. Like, pick a stat. The Giants are bad, especially in the secondary. And so Ladd McConkey, who has had a slow start to the season, he's been under 10 fantasy points in consecutive games, but yet, you think about last year, he never had 3 straight games with single-digit fantasy points. I don't think he starts now. I'm at wide receiver 23, low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3. I'm keeping it open on Ladd McConkey. I think it's McConkulous, the lack of production. I think that changes a little bit. Yeah, you heard me.
Does make sense.
Yeah, it does. Just,
again, bad math on the back of the envelope.
Don't squint too hard at it. Just let it go.
Yes,
just
let it explode off like an air balloon of meaninglessness.
Exactly.
Would you rather have Keenan Allen than Ladd McConkey the rest of the way? Yeah.
No. I think this is going to be a massive week for Ladd. Andrew Phillips, who was a good rookie for the Giants last year, is their slot corner.
Yeah.
He's had a tough go of it lately. That's a great matchup for McConkey. I think this is the week.
Yep.
And I feel
Buy
like
low on Ladd. This might be the last time to get him.
At his age, is a little more likely to get banged up at some point. So
when he was young, he got hurt all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'd roll with McConkey. No worries there on that one. Next one though, a lot more difficult, or maybe easy. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, the Riddler.
The Riddler. I mean, this is truly
solved.
Yeah. Yes. It's not his offense in terms of target share anymore or productivity.
Yeah.
It's Elic Ayomanor time.
It really is. So under 30 yards in 2 of 3 games, averaging under 40 receiving yards per game, Calvin Ridley. Like, there's not a stat that you can point to where you're like, well, maybe there's this. Like, his utilization score has decreased every single week. One of the pro Calvin Ridley arguments was like just massive target share, and yet because of the success of Ayomanor and the run game, and we're seeing some Chigakonkwo as well in this passing offense. Just Calvin Ridley. Who is not getting the target share we expected, and when he is getting the targets, isn't always coming down with it. He has caught only 38% of his targets this year. So under 40% of the passes that are going to Calvin Ridley, he's not coming down with them. And maybe it's Cam Ward's inaccuracy, maybe it's concentration on Calvin Ridley, but whatever it is, it's just not turning into fantasy production. And so I'm at wide receiver 37. I'm closing it out. For a Titans team that has the lowest implied team total in week number 4.
Yep. It's not good. Like the comments from Brian Callahan, they need to build up his confidence. Like, he's like 31 years old or something, Calvin Ridley. Like, this is talking about him like he's a rookie who needs confidence. So I would say with Ridley, the way to look at him is that his median outcome now is pretty bad, but he still has some high-end upside. Like, he could snap out of it. So if you're a struggling 0-3 team like Matthews, I would be trying to trade for someone like Calvin Ridley, because it's not going to get any worse, and there's still scope for him to break out into the guy that we thought he would. But I think that certainly more than 50% chance that's not going to happen.
I just need you to do me a favor, both of you to do me a favor.
Okay.
My team's 0-3.
Yes.
Asked and answered. Understood.
No wins.
Last place.
I'm in last place. 100%.
Last
a lot of
Barry.
injuries.
Maybe Old Barry.
No. But you can refer to my 0-3 team, but when you do, you call me champ, because until there's a new champion crowned in our league, I am still your defending champion. You're two-time, back-to-back champion. So just never forget that, either of you. But it's very upsetting. Because last night my wife and I went out to dinner. We went out to dinner. We went at one of our favorite restaurants in Connecticut, Cafe Roudier. Shout out to my friends over at Cafe Roudier. And the manager, Randy, comes over to me. And he goes, 0-3, huh?
Oh, no.
I swear to God. Listen.
Randy, you drink free.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, Jackson Dart, you're off the board.
Shout out Randy Hodge, wherever you're at. It's fine. Randy's a Falcons fan, so he's got his own pain. So, whatever. But yeah, it's like, it's going beyond this bar.
No, the public knows.
Right.
Yeah. To which my wife goes, wait, you're 0-3?
Yeah.
I'm like, I hadn't brought this up to her yet, and so it was a tough night in the Berry household.
Regular Rudy in the chat says, "Call me champ," he screams as the boat sinks further. That's very good.
That's right.
That's very good. Eventually, it'll be all the way underwater.
Yeah.
See how long this losing streak can go.
That's pretty much what Isn't that what Leonardo DiCaprio said on the Titanic?
Call me champ.
Winslet. Call me champ.
Champ. Definitely room on that board for Leo as well.
Yeah, it's
big hog.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I have real issues with with
the ending.
The ending of Titanic.
Yeah. Well, it's a very true story, so I don't blame you. Jameson Williams is our next wide receiver. He's got that great.
You wanted the boat not to sink?
I didn't want Leo to die.
Yeah,
Leo
sure.
should have gotten on the. Why did he not get on the door?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
He's selfless.
But there was room enough.
Yeah.
Was he selfless?
It's the plot.
Or was Kate Winslet selfish? I argue she was selfish.
Yeah. Yeah, not a great performance from Kate Winslet there. you gotta give Leo a shot.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
She lived and he didn't. So he's laughing now.
Randomly though, I'll just say, as long as we're on the subject, later today. No. Jay is drawing me like one of his French girls. So just so you know,
Great.
that's happening. That's happening later today.
Typical Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday is just. This was supposed to be my day off. And now I know why I was asked right before the season for it not to be. So
Pete has to fill out so many HR forms after every Wednesday
explain
show.
himself. Yeah. He's just sitting in office waiting again. He has his own chair. He's there so much.
I think Pete left after the Chase Brown conversation. He's not here anymore.
Our last wide receiver is Jameson Williams. He's up against the Browns. The Lions are 8.5-point favorites right now. And right now, Jay, not a great target share for Jameson Williams.
No, there were all these rumors of this Jameson Williams alleged breakout. Was it a renaissance if you never really started
like 2 games.
This offense is now very clear. They're going to run the ball, and that is their identity, and then they're going to throw it to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then sometimes Sam Laporta, and it feels like Jameson Williams might be third in the pecking order. He's still going to be the deep ball guy, but the idea that he was going to really expand his route tree and split more targets with Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think that has been disproven through the first 3 weeks. So I don't really want any part of him against this defense.
That's exactly right. So he's not getting the usage, under a 15% target share in all 3 games so far this season. Has yet to see a red zone target. Has yet to see an end zone target this year. And if you're the Lions, why are you going to go away with what's working so well for them? Montgomery and Gibbs obviously looked awesome on Monday night against the Ravens. Browns have allowed the 8th fewest receiving yards to opposing wide receivers. I have Jameson Williams at wide receiver 39 this week, so I'm closing it out. There's enough volume from Amon-Ra St. Brown, and because the tight end position is so poor, Laporta is getting enough sort of scraps to keep him relevant, but there's always the chance with Jameson Williams because of his speed that it gets deep for one, but that's what you're banking on. You're banking on one play, and it just against the Browns, I don't know that it's a great bet. I'm closing it out on Jameson Williams so far in Week 4.
Our last player on the tab here, Travis Kelce against the Ravens. Hasn't really given you the production you'd hope for so far, but it feels like, Matthew, with the landscape of the position, you're probably still starting him.
It's the same point I was making with Laporta, right? So you're like, it's been a slow start to the season for Travis Kelce. And you're like, yeah, I get it, man. And yet, through 3 games, he's a top 12 tight end on a points per game basis. He's actually tight end 12, and I think that more speaks to the lack of production at the position than what Kelce has done through 3 games. But each of the last 2 games, he's had a 20% target share, and the Ravens very quietly have allowed the 2nd most yards to opposing tight ends. And so I'm a tight end 8 this week. I'm keeping it open on Travis Kelce. I just don't know. Maybe you grab Juwan Johnson or Hunter Henry off the waiver wire, but generally speaking, if you used an early pick on Travis Kelce, chances are you don't have a better option. I'm keeping it open.
Yeah, so good that Juwan Johnson is ranked ahead of Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, and TJ Hawkinson. He's been an absolute monster and gobbling up targets, Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, maybe we should call him the gobbler.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because he gobbles up targets.
Sure. So do a lot of the pass catchers in the NFL.
Yeah, well, he's one of the gobblers.
Yeah. No,
he's not the gobbler, but he's a gobbler. He's a gobbler.
Indefinite article.
Let me throw something at you guys. Do you think when they get Xavier Worthy back, and here we go, right? This is from Regular Rudy. This is kind of the direction I was going. Does Kelce get better when some of these receivers are back on the field, or does it actually have the inverse effect?
I think he gets better.
Because it's a red zone?
Not just that, but if you look at sort of when Rashee Rice was out there, and I understand sometimes it's a little bit, I'm going to fence it a little bit here, but give me a second to explain. Rashee Rice and not with Tyquan Thornton or even I think Xavier Worthy for the most part, but Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce basically have the same route tree. They run a lot of the stuff in the middle of the field. Obviously, the deep stuff Kelce doesn't do that Rice does, but and that frees people up. And so you don't often see a big Rice game and a big Kelce game. It's usually one or the other. But I do think that when there are more options, that it's going to open things up for Kelce, because it's not like he's been getting a massive target share. like the whole passing offense is a little off kilter. And I think once they have the normal pieces they expected, once they have Worthy back and Rice back, then maybe Mahomes settles in a little bit. And then Mahomes is just so good at finding Kelce where he needs to, like in the middle of the field, in the red zone, in the green area. Like, so I just sort of, yes, I think there may be some inconsistency there, but I think Kelce, fantasy-wise, overall gets better when this offense looks more like what they expected in the preseason.
Do you think Mahomes is the same level of player he was 3 years ago?
I think he's off on the deep throws.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I think that, one, the mobility this year looks back to what he was, but the consistent deep passing is not the same. There's just no way around it. And maybe that's partially the skilled talent compared to what he had with
missing on throws.
But he misses more throws now than you saw him miss a couple years ago.
He does, and I think there's a couple reasons. I mean, one is just sometimes you miss throws, right? Even Patrick Mahomes is human sometimes. Secondly, I think it's just familiarity with those guys. Like, yes, Hollywood Brown was on this team last year, but didn't play very much, right? He was injured for much of it. Tyquan Thornton's new to the team, and so his main deep threats are guys that he's just sort of, he doesn't have a long history with, right? And then the third part, by the way, is he's under pressure. Like, the offensive line has not been as, it's still waiting to gel, I think. Like, and so I think that's some of it as well, where he's getting hurried a little bit in some cases.
To recap, keep it open or close it out. Jordan Love is a top 10 play this week at quarterback. QB9 open. Ashton Genty, keep believing, RB15. He's got a good matchup against the Bears, so he's an open. As is Chase Brown, just stays open at RB22 against the Broncos. Nick Chubb is a close at RB30, kind of touchdown dependent as he's losing share to Woody Marks. Ladd McConkey, wide receiver 23, stay open. Good matchup against the Giants. Calvin Ridley is a close at wide receiver 37, as is Jameson Williams against that tough Browns defense at wide receiver 39. Travis Kelce is an open more because it's most likely you don't have a better option at tight end rather than expecting a huge week out of Kelce.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.